This is DRF, Race of the Day. Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with the DRF Race of the Day for Monday, August the 16th. Let's throw up the field for race number 3 at Assiniboia Downs, the $20,000 far flung overnight. We're going a mile and a 16th. Download free Formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Race number 3 kicks off the Jackpot Pick 5. If you are the one sole lucky winner in the Jackpot Pick 5, there is a $250,000 guaranteed payout waiting for you. Race number 4 kicks off the $1 Pick 4. Very popular wager. Why? $25,000 guaranteed pool in the Pick 4. Head on over to the Assiniboia Downs YouTube page or asdowns.com on Monday for ASD live interactive handicapping content. Let's talk about the field in race number 3, throwing up the Timeform US pace projector. I'm going to disagree a bit with Timeform US's assessment of this pace. I think the Too Courageous is going to show speed as he did last time out, going gate to wire. Real Grace, the number 6, should show speed. Mr. Dazzle stretches out with sprint speed. He'll be close as well. I don't think it's going to be a barbecue up front. I also don't think they'll be running it at a glacial pace. It should be fair for all. And let's begin with the one Mr. Dazzle by watching his most recent start at 3/4 of a mile. His first race off of the claim. He runs fine. He runs second, and the 5th place horse came back to run second for $15,000 with a 65 buyer speed figure. Mr. Dazzle tries really hard on the stretch to run second, and again, he does have speed. He does have the rail. He should be able to work out a pretty good trip from close to the pace. It's just interesting that the connections, really the prior connections, weren't interested in stretching him out. This is his 22nd lifetime start, his first at a route distance. He has some back class. He is a multiple stakes winner at the Downs. Mr. Dazzle is a solid horse, always has been a solid horse. The distance is somewhat concerning. You're going to get a price, though. Don't want to knock him too much. 10-1 on the morning line. Courageous is the number 2. Let's watch Courageous's most recent race, an upset victory at 11-1 and a 2-other then on August the 2nd. He just went right to the front. He got a great ride. They backed these fractions down 49-1 for the half, and they're not going to catch Courageous, who sprints on home, wins by almost 4 lengths. And you could throw out his prior start in the Manitoba Mile. Breaking from the inside post, he just ducked in towards the gap and dropped the jockey. So draw a line through that race, and this horse has won 2 out of his last 3 starts in which he's actually crossed the finish line. He has good early speed. That 71 buyer speed figure puts him in pretty good stead, makes him competitive with several of these horses, and he's 12-1 on the morning line. Soberano is the number 3. Soberano making his 3rd start at the Downs. He finished 3rd behind Courageous last time out. But let's be easy on Soberano a little bit. What chance did he really have, considering the way that race was run? Courageous backed the pace down to a crawl. Soberano attempted to rally from last. I thought he did well to pass a few tired horses to finish 3rd. If you believe this pace will be fast, Soberano is the kind of horse that can be closing late. He seems more like a synthetic turf horse than a dirt runner. He did most of his damage in the United States on the grass in Northern California or on synthetic. But Soberano dirtied up a little bit simply because the race shape might be better for him this time around. St. Louis Guy is the number 4. St. Louis Guy had a 3-race win streak snapped last time out in the Manitoba Mile. I thought he ran well to be second in the Manitoba Mile. It was a race in which he was able to save ground in the early portion, and the inside seemed to be good on Manitoba Mile Day. Now, he split horses 3 wide on the backstretch, but he immediately dropped back down to the rail, turning for home, got to the 2-path in mid-stretch, and was firing late to finish second to Plentiful. He's in very good form. He's won 12 times in his career. He has been a hard knocker throughout, and his buyer speed figures are very competitive. Distance, I think, is going to be okay for him, and maybe he can just get a little bit closer to the pace. He just seems like a very strong contender. He's 8-5. Now, Plentiful is 7-5. Let's watch that Manitoba Mile I just talked about, and Plentiful and St. Louis Guy are in here, and Plentiful got a nice ground-saving trip as well. While St. Louis Guy went 3 wide on the backstretch, Plentiful was able to save ground, and then they kind of switched positions. Plentiful got to the outside in the stretch, St. Louis Guy came down inside. Plentiful was best on this day. He finally turned the tables on St. Louis Guy after that one had beaten him in his 3 prior starts. Maybe the distance was simply the saving grace for Plentiful, getting him back to a mile. He's been one of the better handicap horses at the Downs for a long time. He's won 10 lifetime starts. He just beat 3 of these foes. He does not have a ton of early speed, but again, I think this pace will be fair. He's just a very logical horse. Keep in mind he was 6-1 when he won the Manitoba Mile. He's 7-5 in here on the morning line. Real Grace is next, and if you think the rail was really the place to be on Manitoba Mile Day, you might want to be forgiving for Real Grace's 7th place finish because he pushed that pace on the outside, and that might have been the deeper footing, and he just didn't have anything left in the stretch, and that's not really Real Grace. A horse who came into that race in extremely competitive form, a horse that won the Canadian Derby in 2020 at the Century Mile. Real Grace just might need to be more aggressively ridden. I think he will be this time around. I think he's going. I think he's going to try to force Courageous's hand. And if he can drop down to the inside and maybe make the lead and back down the pace, 5-1 seems very, very fair for a horse that still has some that's lightly raced enough and still has some upside potential. Keep an eye on Real Grace, especially from a tote standpoint. If he drifts to around that 5-1, I think he is an interesting play, considering he might have been on the worst part of the track last time around. I like St. Louis Guy as my top pick as we take a look at them in the far flung. I think he can turn the tables right back on Plentiful. He ran well last time out. He's just been a consistent sort. 8-5 on the morning line. No great shakes. Maybe he goes off the second choice against Plentiful. 4-5-2-1 for me in the far flung overnight race number 3 at the Downs on Monday. Good luck.